Have you ever paid for a blazing fast 500 or even 1000 megabit internet plan, only to find your smart TV barely reaches 90 megabits when connected with an Ethernet cable? That sounds impossible. After all, wired Ethernet is supposed to be faster than Wi-Fi. But here's the surprising truth. On many smart TVs, the Ethernet port itself is the bottleneck. And today, we're putting that claim to the test. We'll compare the built-in Ethernet connection against a USB Gigabit Ethernet adapter to find out if this simple upgrade can dramatically improve your streaming speeds, or if it's just another internet myth. Let's get started. Most people assume that if a TV has an Ethernet port, it must support gigabit speeds. Unfortunately, that's not always true. Many smart TVs, even premium models, still use a fast Ethernet controller, which is limited to about 100 megabits per second. In real-world use, that usually means download speeds between 90 and 95 megabits. That might sound fast enough. But modern internet plans are much faster. If you're paying for 300, 500, or even 1 gigabit internet, your TV may never be able to use that extra bandwidth through its built-in Ethernet port. That's why some users actually get faster speeds over Wi-Fi than through a wired connection. This is where USB Gigabit Ethernet adapters become interesting. Instead of relying on the TV's internal Ethernet hardware, these adapters create a new network connection through the USB port. If the TV supports compatible USB networking drivers and the USB connection provides enough bandwidth, you may unlock much faster wired speeds. But compatibility is the key. Not every TV supports these adapters, and not every USB port performs the same. That's exactly what we're testing. Let's start with an older LG OLED TV. We connect the USB Gigabit Ethernet adapter. Next, we unplug the original Ethernet cable and connect it to the adapter. Everything looks correct. But after checking the network settings, nothing. The TV doesn't recognize the adapter at all. We tried different USB ports. Restart the TV, reconnect everything. Still no success. This tells us the TV simply doesn't support USB Ethernet networking. So in this case, buying the adapter would be a waste of money. Now it's time for a newer LG OLED model. First, let's see the built-in Ethernet performance. Using the network speed test, download speeds stay around 90 megabits per second, exactly what we'd expect from a fast Ethernet connection. Now we disconnect the cable. Plug the Ethernet into the USB Gigabit adapter. Connect the adapter to the TV's USB port. Wait a few seconds. The TV recognizes the new network connection. Now comes the exciting part. Running the speed test again. The results jump dramatically. Instead of being limited to around 90 megabits, download speeds climb past 300 megabits per second. That's more than 3 times faster. The adapter successfully bypassed the built-in Ethernet limitation. So why does this happen? The built-in Ethernet controller inside many TVs is only designed for fast Ethernet. Even if your internet service is much faster, the hardware simply can't go beyond its own limit. A compatible USB Gigabit Ethernet adapter adds a different network controller. When the TV supports it, the operating system uses the adapter instead of the slower built-in port. However, there's another factor: the USB port itself. If your TV only has USB 2.0 ports, the maximum practical Ethernet speed is usually somewhere around 300 to 350 megabits per second. If it has USB 3.0 support, higher speeds may be possible, depending on the TV's hardware and software. Before buying any USB Ethernet adapter, there are a few things to check. First, find out whether your TV supports USB Ethernet adapters. Second, check whether your TV has USB 2.0 or USB 3.0 ports. Third, look for reports from other users with the same TV model. Even TVs from the same manufacturer can behave differently. One model may work perfectly, while another may not recognize the adapter at all. That's why compatibility is always the most important factor. Now you might be wondering, does anyone really need more than 100 megabits on a TV? For many people, probably not. Streaming services like Netflix, Disney+, and YouTube typically use far less than 100 megabits. even for 4K content. But faster Ethernet can still make a difference. Large app downloads may finish quicker. Local media streaming from a home NAS can perform better. Cloud gaming may benefit. And future streaming technologies could demand even more bandwidth. So while this upgrade isn't essential for everyone, it can be worthwhile for users with high-speed internet and compatible TVs. Here's the bottom line. A USB Gigabit Ethernet adapter can significantly improve wired internet speeds on some smart TVs. But it's not a universal upgrade. Older TVs may not recognize the adapter at all. Newer compatible models can sometimes achieve speeds 3 or even 4 times faster than the built-in Ethernet port. Before spending any money, check your TV model, USB version, and compatibility with USB Ethernet adapters. That simple research could save you from buying hardware that won't work. If you've tested one of these adapters on your own TV, let everyone know your TV model and the speeds you achieved in the comments below. Your experience could help thousands of other viewers. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more practical tech tips that actually make a difference. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.